There we go. What's going on, people? Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas, and we're trying to do it up a little bit on this good Thursday evening. A lot of stuff going on as usual. The NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. And right now we are dealing with the mania that is the 2022 NFL Combine. So I got that on my TV up here. So if you see me looking to my left, I'm checking out the television and seeing what's going on, seeing who's running the 40 times, and this whole thing that's going on. This is crazy. So got a pretty good day. Got a special guest. I got a conversation I had with my friend Devin Leary. Uh-oh, I just got something said there's no audio. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me go on the chat. If anybody's in the chat, post it so you can let me know if you can hear me. Let me see. Hold on for a sec. Do I have audio? Okay. We're good. Everybody said I'm good. Okay. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Got a message that said I had no audio, but it looks like it's good. Thanks, Greg. Definitely need a sound check. Sometimes when you're doing this by yourself, man, you got to do troubleshooting on the spot. So looks good. If you can hear me, I'm good, man. You good? We good. Let's get it on and popping, man. So like I said, we got combat going on, and it looks like the quarterbacks are on the field right now. I think the wide receivers just ran their 40s not too long ago. So yeah, the quarterbacks on the field. They're throwing routes right now. So everybody's got to go gaga over the combine scores and the 40 times and all of that kind of stuff. I haven't seen anything that looked like it was breaking news or anything like that. So I'll keep you posted if I see something crazy. But this is the next stage of our Eagles insanity. I know Howie Roseman made some news being at the combines. He gave the presser with talking about Jalen Hurts is still the guy. I didn't think they were going to say anything otherwise. So it's to be expected. The closer it gets to draft day, talks will get a little bit hotter and heavy because everybody's looking to jockey and maneuver for a draft position. So teams will be willing to wheel and deal and see what happens. So there's going to be a lot of stuff. This is just the beginning, the very beginnings of this stuff, because after, they do these 3 days of combines, they're going to go back and compare notes. And then you got all of the scouts and everything that's got to go to the schools, and they got to do the personal workouts at the schools, because guarantee you everybody's not going to have a great combine workout. Some people don't even go to the combines. You got to have status like that. But yeah, Vince, free agent rumors all over the place. But it's ready to go, man. We are there with it. But before we go any further, I did want to got a little bit of breaking news here, and it looks like the 76ers are going to be signing DeAndre Jordan. So that's a good pickup for the Sixers. Sixers and the Eagles are fighting for the headlines right now because the James Harden experience is on and rolling. So I know it's only been like 2 games, but good first start. Good start to what we've been seeing, because if it wasn't a great start, everybody would be losing their stuff. People will be losing their shit about that. So he's got a good start. He's living up to expectations. I'd be curious if you're in the chat, let me know, what was your expectations for Harden right off the bat? So we didn't know what to expect. I know I saw the rumors that he was getting fat and all of that kind of stuff, but he looked good to me, and he's making everybody else better. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Iffy on Jordan. Mike Parker, why you iffy on Jordan? That's another tall body that we need to pull down rebounds. I'm not expecting him to go, 25 and 10. All I want him to do is pull down a couple of rebounds, give JoJo a spell, because I've seen a couple of games where when Embiid is not on the court, bad things start to happen. So I want to see somebody in the lineup that can stabilize the roster when Joel Embiid is not on the field, when he's not on the court. So we'll see what happens. So, yeah, Mike. Mike Parker says prime players can turn a switch, though. Harden flipped that switch. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's see if we can keep it going. Let's see if we can be consistent with it. So, but we'll get back into that a little bit later. But I got a special guest. I got a conversation. I had this conversation with this kid a while ago, about a month ago. But I wanted to save it because knowing he was in college and the experience he was going through, this is the right time, especially with everything with the combine being hot and all of that kind of stuff. He's not in the combine this year, maybe next year or the year after. We'll see. This kid can sling that rock all over the place. I definitely think he has the opportunity to be playing on Sundays. He's that good. If he stays consistent, stays healthy, I don't see why that won't happen. He already broke Phillip Rivers' records at NC State this year. And you'll hear me talk about this in our conversation. I realized when this kid was 10 years old that this kid knew how to throw the rock. So I'm going to go into this conversation I have with my young friend, Devin Leary, quarterback from North Carolina State, Wolfpack. But while the conversation is going on, stay in the chat. Stay live in the chat. I'm still in the chat. This is not a very long conversation, so we'll be right back. Not too long. But yes, Greg, that is something we are going to talk about. That is an excellent point. They got hosed out of a bowl game. And we talk about that a little bit because me, from being a former player, I know what type of preparation, and not even take the preparation out of it. The kids are going to be ready to play. NC State, UCLA, they're going to be ready to play. But I look at it from the standpoint of, think about all of those seniors that was supposed to be their last game. That's the heartbreaking part for me. You got all those seniors, that was their last shot. That was their last appearance. Grandmama and them coming to the game, and, they didn't even get a chance to play the game. So that may have been a player's last opportunity to get a look from a scout, or you never know what's going to happen. All it takes is one game, one play. So we do talk about that, man. I'm glad you brought that up. So I want to, with no more further delay, I'm gonna play this video, and this is Devin Leary, South Jersey's own Devin Leary. I just tried it on my phone for the first time, so you got to do like something extra. Open up the web browser or something like that. So it's cool. How you been, man?
Doing good.
Good to see you, young fella.
Yeah.
Not so young no more, man. Watching you on TV.
I know.
Seeing your face on national promos. I'm like, I know that kid. I coached that kid. He's that good.
Came a long way from the Stallions.
Daggone right, man. But that was the foundation for sure, man.
Yep. Exactly. So
how's your experience been down there, man?
It's been good. It's been really good. This will be my fourth season now, but because of like COVID and everything, I'll be technically a redshirt junior. But I'm scheduled to graduate this upcoming fall.
Nice.
Which is pretty weird because I still have 2 more years of eligibility, but I'll be graduating this year.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, it's been really good so far. This year I think was like really a pretty good breakout year for not only me, like our entire team.
Yeah.
Obviously in the bowl game we weren't able to play, it got canceled. But if they did give us technically that win, we would have finished 10-3 this year, which is the first time NC State has had a 10-win season since 2002 with Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been a huge accomplishment for us I don't know how that's going to work out, but other than that, I mean, I've been loving it down there.
That's been weird, man. And I know, like, a lot of times, us older, former pro guys, and we'll say stuff like, you're going through stuff. I've been through all of it. I've seen all of it. However, I've never seen a situation where they cancel the bowl game. I've never seen that before in my life. I'm like, that's
like what?
Like when they cancel your game.
Oh yeah, it was the craziest thing.
It was like I was saying on a podcast the other day. It was like this year, the NFL and for the most part college football, a lot of stuff going along with this COVID situation, they're making it up.
Yeah,
they're making it up. So I'd never seen bowl games, regular games canceled. Bowl games, that's a whole lot of money they got to just throw off the table. Yep. Not to mention all the people and family that traveled and everything that goes into that type of situation. Man, that was crazy, man. But
yeah, it was like the weirdest thing ever because we were actually doing different team events. So like we went to the San Diego Zoo, we went to SeaWorld out there, and we went to a U.S. naval battleship out in San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was like so random because every event that we went to, UCLA's whole team was there too.
Right.
And then it was like on game day, they just, I guess, had too many people test positive. I found out at 12 o'clock, and our game was at 5 o'clock their time.
Right.
So it was like
like last minute stuff, man. And it's a shame because you figure, I look at it from a player's perspective, like all of those players that had prep, especially you talking about seniors, to lose that opportunity. That might be your last chance for somebody to see you. That might have been a game where somebody gets invited to the combine, stuff like that. So, like, that was heartbreaking. Just, looking at that from the standpoint of what the kids did and prepared for on both sides of the ball. You guys and UCLA. Yeah. So,
there
I was
wasn't
heartbroken
really much
about
closure.
that, man. Oh man, we was looking at we were taking pictures of the promo, posting it. Your mom had sent out some stuff, and I was like, I think I sent your mom a message like, how many times did you watch that promo, or did you take screenshots of the television, man? But that's cool. One of the things I asked, I think I sent this to your mom and dad because I was in that situation, and I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be in that situation where when I was in college, I was the guy. So to have your parents be the parents of the guy, you know what I'm saying? So everybody knows that's your kid.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling. And, my parents would come with, I wore number 40 in college. So they would all have 40 jerseys and my aunts and uncles and all that kind of stuff. So that's a pretty good experience, man. How have they been enjoying it?
They've been loving it. I mean, they've been loving it ever since, I really got my shot to play. Last year I suffered from an injury, wasn't really able to get the full experience, especially with COVID. I mean, half the games that we had, we didn't even have fans in the stadium. So it was pretty weird. But I mean, this year, my mom and dad are just soaking it all in. Like, they love it. They try to make it to as many games as possible. But when they do, like you just said, they're wearing their 13, they're wearing all their NC State gear. My mom can't wait to see me walking into the stadium right off the bus. And like, you can just see how proud they are. I mean, they wait. I'm always the last one to leave the facility after the game because I always have all these interviews and stuff, and they're right there waiting, smiling. And I mean, it's the best feeling for me.
They deserve it too.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
So you're getting, so you're going into your I don't believe it's been 4 years, man. That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's
flew
fast.
But you I'm sure you've been in a situation before because now you guys get scouts coming to the facility and just being exposed to that. I remember the first time I ever saw stuff like that because we had a couple of guys, Elroy Harris, Jesse Small, Aaron Jones, Myron Guyton from Eastern Kentucky won a Super Bowl with the Giants. So my first experience with pro scouts coming in, and you really see that. And for the first time, that light bulb clicks and you're like this is real. That's an actual possibility.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
How does that resonate with you? And how do you process that from the stuff that you saw on TV and on Madden? Now, you might be standing shoulder to shoulder to those type of guys.
Yeah, I'll admit, my freshman year when I first got to NC State and I started seeing some of these guys, the scouts coming in, it was like a surreal feeling. Like you just said, it's like, oh my God, like this is everything that I've always wanted to do. Everything that I loved is playing in front of these scouts is just one step closer. And I mean, I will admit early on when I first saw them, I was a little starstruck, a little bit, on my toes at practice, trying to throw it a little bit harder, trying to.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because my freshman year, my coach was like, hey, they're not out here looking at you right now. And he was like, you don't have to impress anyone. And that was kind of something I always remember. But yeah, as I'm getting older and older now, just being able to see those guys in the building each and every day and watching them work out it shows like that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve because all these scouts are at each and one of our practices each and every day. And you never know what they're looking at or who they're looking at. So just being able to carry yourself with that professional, type of moxie has been huge for me.
Absolutely, man. And I always, in my opinion, when I believe is when you guys beat Clemson, and I was like, people are starting to notice. Mm-hmm. People are starting to see, and especially going along the year. And I don't know if it went viral, but I know I saw it like 4 or 5 times when they had the clip of your coach after the game.
Oh,
and he said, "We got a badass quarterback," and I was like, "That's that dude right there."
Yeah. Yeah, he said that in our to the team after we won.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
great feeling, and just seeing that is like, I got little piece of that, helped him get to that level. So just not a big piece, but just a small piece, man. And I will tell anybody, and I say when I first met you when you were 10,
mm-hmm.
and I remember your dad coming to me and was like, "Have you ever seen Devin throw?" And I was like, "Not really." And the first time I saw you throw, I was like, at 10 years old, that kid knows how to throw. It's difference between throwing at a country mile, but knowing how to throw, man. And I've always had that. I've always seen that in you. And now, man, you just kept going. You were at Timber Creek, you were lighting it up. Now you're at NC State, lighting it up. Now you're on ESPN promos all over the place, man. So,
I remember those days.
Man, it was fun, man. It was a good foundation, man. And
it really was.
In this day and age, I try to tell young people, man, it doesn't matter where you are. The way things are now with social media and stuff like that, if you've got the talent, they will find you.
Yep, 100%.
They will find you, man.
100%.
So glad you're doing well, man. Good to see you. Just wanted to get you on here for a couple minutes. I just started this podcast thing. Last week was my first, or yesterday was my first official show by myself.
Okay.
So I'll be on every Thursdays. Every chance I can get somebody from home, I'm going to do that, man. So if you ever want to come back, or if you got one of your teammates that want to jump on, let me know, man. I will put them on. We'll talk about football and have a good time, man. But you keep doing what you're doing. Much success to you, man. I love you and I appreciate you. And keep doing that grind, man. You're making it happen, brother. You're making it happen.
Yes, sir. Love and appreciate you too, Coach. Thanks for having me on here. And anyone that wants to join in here or any one of my teammates, I'll definitely refer them to you.
Absolutely, man. And tell your dad.
Okay, I will.
I have not forgotten. I know I owe him a rack of ribs. I have not forgotten.
Okay.
I have not forgotten. All right.
I'll tell him.
Good to see you, man.
You too, Coach.
All right. Take care, buddy.
See ya.
There he is, that dude, Devin Leary. I remember that day I was talking about, too, his dad, Glenn. Me and Glenn coached together for 9 years at GT. And then he made the right decision. He was like, you know what? I want to watch my kids play. And you see Devin, I know before too long, I'm going to have his little brother probably on here because his little brother's going to, I believe he's going to Illinois, I think. But Devin went to Timber Creek, broke all the records. Then Donovan started at Timber Creek and broke all of Devin's records. So, and it was funny because Donovan was our tight end. So never saw him as a quarterback. So never got a chance to, I coached him, but his dad coached the offensive line. So he usually dealt with Donovan. So I really, I never saw Donovan play quarterback until I saw him at Timber Creek. And I was like, good grief, man. They are doing it up. So, but very, very proud of Devin and things that he's doing. And it was heartbreaking to see them have that game canceled like that. That was crazy. So, But again, hopefully I will have him on again after he's breaking more records in the ACC. So we'll see what happens. I'm still taking a look, still peeking at the combine, and we got quarterbacks launching long passes to receivers with no coverage, so it means absolutely nothing. But they will go. Oh, they got what's the kid? What's the kid? I forget his name. He's an Eagles fan. He's always on social media, and I know I've met him at a game before. I signed a jersey or something. I forget what his name is, and I got the TV down on mute so I can't see. But I know I've seen him at a game. He's a staunch Eagles fan. His families are Eagles fans, and we see him everywhere. So good shout out. Good to see the young fella on television. That's pretty cool. But anyways, let's keep it moving and let us get into the James Harden experience in Philadelphia. It is moving. The James Harden train is rolling. Frank, what's up, dude? My twin sis Melanie. What's up, sis? Gotta shout out my twin. She Coach Marcus in the house. Daggone right, twin height. Always gotta shout out my sis. But the James Harden experience is in motion. And the start of it has been everything at least I expected, or at least wanted to see. I heard some stuff. I heard the rumors and the criticisms that he had gotten a little chubby, wasn't in great shape, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know if they were just salty or what the deal was, but I don't see that here in Philadelphia. He didn't just all of a sudden shed 15 pounds or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know. I watch basketball. I don't follow basketball. So I can tell you not even all, I can tell you most of the guys that play for the Sixers. I don't watch basketball like some guys do. Like I know my grandson is like, he's a basketball nut. So he can tell you every guy on every team in the conference. And I'm not in it. I just watch it for the enjoyment of it. I know our team, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know what the outlook for him was. I know this just from watching the media heads on the shows and First Take and all of that kind of crap. Stephen A. Smith, a lot of people were down on him because he always goes from team to team a lot, and I was like, okay, so what does that mean? That's business. That's no different than anybody else at any year. I remember the stuff that happened in Houston, and it got ugly. But in comparison, he still showed up. I remember, and this is kind of moving towards like the situation with Ben Simmons. I've never seen nobody just get paid that max contract and just decide to like, nah, I don't like the way it's going on, so I don't want to play no more. When you were playing well, you had a bad series, and then you just shut it down. What's the kid? Giannis? Is that the kid that was missing all the free throws, airballing free throws and stuff like that? And he took it like a champ. He took his criticism. Everybody was clowning him when he was shooting them air balls, but he kept shooting. Yes, he's gonna miss some, but guess what? He's gonna make some. And if he shot, 10 air balls and made 3, he kept getting to the line, putting people in foul trouble. So it's funny how that young player accepted his criticism. He knew he sucked at the line. Shaq knew he sucked at the line, but he still kept going to the line. And he took everything, and I'm sure, and everybody's human, so you don't like to hear all of the bad talk, especially about you. But he took his lumps. Shaq took his lumps. I always use Shaq as an example because Shaq was ridiculously bad at free throws. The whole concept of Hack-a-Shaq came because he could not shoot free throws. But I'm saying all this to say that even with all of that, he still took his lumps. That's what you do as a professional. That's what you get paid to do. You get paid to play, but you got to be able to take the criticism because that comes with it. That comes with it. And for whatever reason, I guess he was soft like that at LSU, but he could not process that. I don't get it. I don't get it. When you sign a max contract like that, the expectations come with it. Too much is given, much is required. So if we're going to pay you all that cheddar, you better be producing. So it wasn't like the criticism was unfair. And if the stuff is real with you, you got to keep it 100. If I'm sucking, tell me I'm sucking. I want to get better. So, because he's soft. That's Captain Obvious. He is soft, but it's got to be something else to that. Because everybody, if you played any sport, baseball, football, basketball, whatever, you don't deal with people, you deal with personalities. That's why you have, you got some people that as soon as they step in the locker room, that's the captain. You got other guys that might be captains, but they're not the most boisterous person in the locker room. But when it's game time and when they step on the field, you know who's in control. So there's different personalities that come with different athletes in every sport and every walk of life. So, but you still have to be able to take the lumps. You still got to be able to take the criticism. I don't. That'll get me on a tangent about all of these, football teams and stuff like that. Little League, like when I coached GT, when I coached Devin, me and his dad coached the 105s. So that was 10 and 11 years old. We coached the 105s. And it is amazing how parents have unrealistic expectations for their kids. But even the kids at that level, if we hollering and screaming at them at practice and they missed the play, they understood that it was because they missed the play. They understood that. So it was like, I'm not sure how it is everywhere, but I know when I was with GT, we had an A team, a B team, and a C team. A team was basically your first stringers, really good kids, played football for a couple of years. They know what they're doing. The B team was the kids been playing, maybe not as much talent, but they're hustling, they're trying, and they love to play. The C team was for the kids that this was like their first year playing football. Didn't really have skills, uncoordinated, all of that kind of stuff. So you would put those kids together so that they don't get hurt, so they don't get embarrassed. Everybody's pretty much at the same level, A, B, and C. That's how you build the competition. But the one thing that was consistent on A, B, and C, I don't care if you had been playing since you were 4 years old or this was your first year. If you screwed up and you knew you screwed up, we would jump down your throat, but you knew that's why we were doing it. I remember having a kid, he was just having a bad day. He was having a real bad day and jumping all over because he was screwing up, jumping all over. But I remember after practice, I pulled him over to the side. I told his mom to come over, and I was like, I want you to hear this conversation. And I told him, I said, the only reason we're hard on you is because I know you can do it. And if you can't do it, we didn't have anybody else who could. He was our center. And what I had to explain to him was, as the center, now mind you, he's 10, 11 years old. So to him, nobody's looking at him because he's the center. He's on the offensive line. Everybody's looking at the running backs. Everybody wants to be a running back in the Little League. You only got one ball. But what I tried to tell him was he was the most important. I asked him, I said, who do you think is the most important person on the field? And he said the quarterback. I said, no, it's you, because you touch the ball every time. Quarterback can't do a daggone thing unless you get him the ball. So you are the most important. But the point I was trying to make is, even at 10, 11 years old, he knew how to take the criticism. Kids know how to take the criticism if you let them have it. Coaches are not there to beat them down and berate them and all of that kind of stuff. We want to make them get better. And for some reason, back to the original point, Ben Simmons and all that kind of stuff, he couldn't take the licks. So, and that's not just basketball. You got stuff like that in football too. There are plenty of people that play in the league that shouldn't, and there are plenty of people that should be playing in the league that aren't. So, who is this? Somebody's throwing more bombs. So, what are the news? And this is just how much stuff like this matters, but really doesn't matter. What's the kid from Pickett? The kid from Pittsburgh, right? He's supposed to be the best pick of this year's quarterback draft class, right? So what's the story that comes out today? His hand width, thumb to pinky, I guess that's a big deal, the measurement, quarterback's hands. His is the smallest. My hand width is, I believe, 9 1/4. His hand size was, I believe, 8 1/2. So as a quarterback, he had small hands. Now, the reason I bring that up is because, does it matter? If this kid is considered the top quarterback of this year's draft, whether you think it's a good draft or not, if he's the top quarterback in this class, at least that's saying something. And at no time during the year, when he was throwing for all of them yards and doing all that stuff at Pitt, did anybody bring up the subject of the size of his hands? Nobody brought that stuff up. It doesn't matter. Can he drop back and hit an open wide receiver? That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if he's got small hands or not. But that's the kind of stuff that they do at this combine, and they nitpick so bad. And your whole college career can in some ways be determined by a 40-yard dash. And that's unfair. And you got a lot of people, a lot of the media talking heads, Mel Kiper and McVay and all of these guys that do all of this draft coverage and all of this kind of stuff. All of a sudden, they've got the 411 on all of these kids. And a lot of these people base their whole opinion on a 5-minute highlight tape. That's the only thing they watch. They don't watch the team during the year. And that's really what it comes down to. Do you watch the film? Do you have context of a player? Why he played bad this week or that week? My dad's asking, was he a bad coach? Nah, Pop, you're a good coach. But the whole combine thing is given. Just imagine if your job, your career was based off of your first day at work. You get to a new position, you get started, you don't know everything, you don't know where everything is, you don't know anybody, you're meeting and you got to get adjusted. You got to come up to speed. So just imagine if your salary and everything was based on your first day. There'd be a lot of people out of work. So you can't do that at the combine. This is where you really find out, all of these talking heads, who really studies film and who doesn't. If you follow me on social media, you probably saw my post where I mentioned that everybody's already saying, I already saw an interview today on NFL Network. They had some, I don't know who it was. Some kid was had a microphone in his face, and the first thing he says is, "Yeah, I've got a Debo Samuel style." And I was like, Deebo Samuels is what? First? That was his rookie year. First or second year. So he hasn't been in the league for long. So you were still playing when. So where did this style come from? Of course, everybody's going to want the next Deebo, or they're going to want the next Micah Parsons. Those two names you're going to hear the whole combine. Everything's going to be referred to them because those are the hot items now. And of course, the NFL is a copycat league. So all the GMs are looking for, we got to draft the next Deebo Samuels. We got to draft the next Micah Parsons. We got to draft the next Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. We got to find them. Like, you can't just find those people. Most of the teams that draft them didn't know what they had. Because most of the teams, if you look at media coverage and stuff like that, when you get a prime player that pops his rookie year, most times, not all, but most times, people are like, I didn't know he was that good. Knew he was good. I didn't know he was that good. So Deebo is that guy. Deebo is that guy. He calls himself a wing back. I call him a versatile player. Versatile offensive player. Anybody, if you're my age, you remember back when the Kansas City Chiefs had a kid named Dante Hall. They used to call him the human joystick. Go look up Dante Hall highlights on YouTube and see what you get. They use them the same way. Steve Smith was the same way, but Steve Smith was more, he could do those other things, but the offense didn't let him loose. That's the other thing. You got a lot of good players on teams already, but the team they're on, the coaches they're with, the schemes that they are running does not allow them to cut loose. That's a big thing. I asked the question. I believe we talked about this last week. The question was, do you think that Micah Parsons would have been as successful here if he was under Gannon's defense? And my answer is, I don't think so. I still think he would be a good player. I don't think he would be doing the things that he's doing in Dallas, because the defense wouldn't allow him to do it. They wouldn't allow him to roam and go free and choose your own adventure. Because Dallas was smart enough to do that, it's hard to plan for him. It's hard to block him. It also helps that the kid is 235 pounds and runs a 4.3. That's the other thing. You got a big offensive guard, offensive tackle, maybe a tight end. So now you're talking about the offensive line. You're talking about, 4'9", 4'8", 4'9", 5 flat, speed-wise. A tight end, 4'7", 4'6" if he's fast. They're going to block a 4'3" linebacker at 230? No, they're not. So just like you can take a scat back, you can take Deebo Samuels and move him around, put him in motion, and create mismatches for your offense. They can do the same thing with Micah Parsons. They can move him around because he's fast enough where he creates mismatches on the offensive line, on the running backs, if you got pass protection, and on the tight ends. And he runs a 4.3, he can cover. Would Gannon have utilized him like we see what they're doing in Dallas? And I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have. So all of this stuff, they doing all of this stuff with the quarterbacks, and they got the one drill now where they put the two cones out and they throw the ball to the receiver, and I guess they go up and like make a jump. They go up in the air, go get the ball, but they got to get their feet. I guess it's a touch your feet drill. got to come down with the ball in bounds. So, I mean, they do all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, if you didn't watch this shouldn't determine these guys' future. But for some people, it does. They didn't run a good 40, or they didn't throw up. There are some situations like, you go into the combine and you know that you're going to do the 225 test, right? So if you show up and you don't do it, or you have a very poor performance, that means you haven't been training. Stuff like that I understand, because they do take into consideration if you were hurt or you're rehabbing, all of that kind of stuff. That makes sense. But if you show up and you're an offensive lineman and you can only get 8 reps out of 225, I was a running back, a 195-pound running back, and I still repped out, I believe, 16 or 17 reps on 225, which for a running back, like, I wasn't no, weight warrior when I came out of college, but I knew how to work out. But if I'm outlifting you as a running back, they see stuff like that. And then now with social media, they do the interviews. The one thing I read today, I saw it today, I did not realize this. They got rid of the Wonderlic test. And I thought that was a great idea. Because the Wonderlic test is, never liked it. I thought it was an excuse to exclude certain people. It just didn't make sense. Because you can't figure out how many people should jump off the boat while it's sailing east in a northwesterly wind, has no bearing on whether you can read an NFL defense. Like, stuff like that doesn't matter. And they put so much, I guess that they paid for it, so they had to use it, but it was a waste of time. It caused a lot of controversy. It was unfair. And I'm glad they got rid of it. It was for the players that you want to do well, that it's one of those things where you can use it however you want to use it. If you get a bad score, well, he didn't do good on the Wonderlic, so that's going to drop his draft stock. And it's like, for what? But he set the record in his conference for passing touchdowns this year. But now you telling me the test makes more sense than that? And you got some people that believe stuff like that. And make no mistake, the stuff that they do at the combine is strategic, it's political, you got all of these other things going on behind the scenes that most people don't see. And going into the macro of what the NFL is going through right now, especially with Brian Flores, especially with the Rooney Rule, especially with the Washington Commanders, Daniel Snyder situation, they don't need another black eye. And this is something that's been around for a while, so I'm glad they got rid of it, because it's not a good look for the NFL. And the NFL, it seems like, is specializing on not good looks lately. So, but they'll keep it going. I want to see what's going to happen the next. This goes on until Saturday. And then all next week, there's going to be one person that everybody's going to be talking about that jumped out of the gym. And that's all that people are going to be talking about. He's going to shoot up the draft board and all of that kind of stuff. So it's crazy. Combine just gives you an idea on the players. Yes, but because of the NFL history with the combine, they put too much emphasis on it. Way too much. They got, for goodness sake, they have live coverage of the NFL combine right now. So it's another marketing machine, basically. They get shoes, they got jerseys, they get bags, gift bags, all of that kind of stuff. They got shirts. Everything is Under Armour with your name on the back. All of that kind of stuff. We didn't get none of that stuff. You showed up, you did what you had to do, and then you got out. And the whole psychological stress that you go through as somebody in the combine, oh my God. My roommate was Eddie George. He was there for a day. I'm not even sure if he worked out. I met him day one. I don't even think he stayed in the room that night, and then he got out. And I'm trying to remember, because I remember the rest of it. I was by myself, so I don't know if he stayed somewhere else or he didn't work out. I don't remember what the situation was, because if you were at a big school, you can do some different stuff. You kind of on your own schedule, especially if you're somebody where you can go in and say, you know what, I'm not working out. My pro day will be this day at my school on the track or in the facility at 1 p.m. And then they will have 40 scouts there because he's projected as a top pick. Some guys can do that from the big schools. Most guys can't. But there's so much pressure there and all eyes on you and all of that kind of stuff. And it is a very, very stressful situation. Because everything, you're like, if the doorman is wearing an NFL shirt and he opens the door for you and say, you look good today, you be calling home like, yeah, they like me because the doorman said I look good today. He saw me catch passes, so I must be going in the third round. That's how anxious you are. Any compliment goes over the top. Now it's a little bit different because you got so much coverage. So it's not so much what you think, because now everybody goes through fake interviews. You go through stuff with the media. Everybody's watching you. I just saw the thing today. What's the quarterback from Liberty? Somebody caught him giving some homeless guy outside of the stadium shoes or something like that. The guy had sitting down on a street sign with a sign. It was from the back, so I couldn't. It was probably some homeless sign that he was holding up, and it looked like the kid was giving him his shoes or something like that. So, like they take stuff like that and then they blow it up, and that'll turn into he's a good guy, he's a leader, and they'll just turn that into something else to get positive spin for this player or that player. So it's all now. What is this? They're throwing balls at a mat. I ain't never seen this before. Sam Howell from Carolina. Oh, the hardest throw? That's a new. I've never seen this one before. Maybe I just ain't been paying attention. The hardest throw. Okay. So they clock you like you're a MLB pitcher. Interesting. Never seen that before. I didn't like. Why does that matter? Willis, thank you, Vince. Willis from Liberty. I forget what his first name is. What's his first name? But they use all of that stuff. So everybody's going to catch the balls. Everybody's going to, like these days, with all of the stuff you have at your disposal as far as training and facilities and all of this and all of that. There should be nobody that has a bad combine workout. Nobody. This is Dotson that's running right now. And what's his 40 time look like? I don't know. I didn't show it the replay. So we'll see. This is ramping up. A lot of fun stuff. I like watching the combine, but and then you see the commentators. You ever been in the situation where you just sitting with people and you reaching for stuff to say? That's what they look like on NFL Network covering the combine. It's like they searching for stuff to talk about because it's boring. It's boring. Everybody shows up to want to see the 40-yard dash, and that's it. Then you tune out. Some players will even they come, run the 40, and they leave. They don't do nothing else. I do my drills at my school. Bill Middlebrook, GD Cove, protocols, laugh out loud. Greg, I have no idea what that means. Explain that. GD COVID protocols? Is that what that means? I don't know. I don't get you. Let me see. What else? What else do we have? I had some some of my memes. This is my man Devin. He was the ACC Player of the Week, the Manning Award. Dev did his thing, and he came back from a knee injury a couple years ago. They put him in as a starter, and he got hurt, so he had to come back. And you know, when you see people like that again paid their dues and had to go through some stuff, that builds character, man. And Dev's gonna do some things. And there's the James Harden experience. Let me see. I am really expecting the Sixers to go. They at least should be in the finals. If they're fighting, if they're taking on the Nets, I can see that happening. But the Nets, I don't know what the Nets are going to get. I don't know what the situation is with Ben Simmons, if and when he's going to play. But I know Kyrie will be back because I know eventually New York's going to drop that vaccine mandate. So that'll put him in full time on the court. So it might go back. It might be that would be awesome if it was Philadelphia and Brooklyn for the Eastern Finals. That would be dope. So then we can, because rest assured, I wish I'd have put it in the captions. Somebody put out a post about Ben Simmons. Basically, he was saying, hoping that people will go easy on him because he's going through some stuff. And I was like, when that kid comes to Philadelphia, it is going to be brutal. They're going to give him the business like no other. I don't think. I can't see this much vitriol for a player since like back, and this is back when I was a kid. And at that time I wasn't even paying attention to basketball, let alone Philadelphia basketball. But you talking about the Boston Strangler days where the Sixers and the Celtics was a thing. As far as basketball, I don't remember anybody like who brought that type of vitriol in the house. I'm trying to remember if there was somebody like that when Iverson was playing, but I don't think there was a player that we just hated. We didn't like the Lakers, but I don't know if we hated them. Tori, and I agree, bro. I don't think he's going to play in Philly. He don't want that smoke. He does not want that smoke at all. So we'll see what's going to happen, man. But Ben has put himself in a very interesting position because I said this before, all of them people got them mental health receipts. Every time they put that out there, people are giving him the arched eyebrow. And it's like, now you gotta show me something. I was listening to Bomani Jones today, and he made a comment. He said, "What does mental health mean?" Mental health is the buzzword, but that is a very, very general, very broad brush. And you can't You can't paint everybody with that brush. So you got to be specific. What is the issue? So he's painted himself in a corner because of that. Because now everybody's looking at him like, because think about it. If all of a sudden he made this deal and he just came out and started balling, people would be looking at him like, so now his back is still hurt. So he got a lot of people side gawking him. That's for sure. And again, Torian, I think you 100% right, bro. He does not want that smoke in Philly, but he gonna have to come here. God forbid if they play in the playoffs. Oh, Philly is gonna be all in his business. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Yeah, Pat, it's gonna be toxic, bro. If he's smart, he'll play. What was that, Pat? Hold on. If he's smart, he plays March 10th. Because if they play in the playoffs, it's going to be worse for him. Absolutely. Get it out the way. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. But that goes back to what I was saying before. Go ahead and take your licks. You know it's coming. Take your licks. You know they're going to be shouting at you. That's what you get paid to do. If I got paid that much money, you can yell at me all you want. But some of these kids built different, man. They ain't, they never got a chance to go outside and play. And if the kid down the street didn't like you, your mama would tell you, then find another friend. You got to be crying over it. I don't know. I don't get it. So, I don't get it. But all I know is I'm digging the James Harden experience. I'm glad we're going to get Deandre Jordan. That is another big body that can hold the court when JoJo is not on the court. When Joel Embiid is not on the court, bad things happen, and we need somebody to stabilize that. So we shall see, my friends. But listen, I am going to get up out of here, man. It's crazy. We've been rolling about an hour, 57 minutes. It's a smooth rolling show. So do me a favor. Tell your friends about me. Smash the like button. Subscribe to A2D Radio. These guys have been great. And we're trying to do some big things in the future. I'm trying to make this grow. Check out my Facebook fan page, Pro Fan Perspective. It's on Facebook. Look me up. I'm trying to keep it busy. I try to contribute. If you got a fan page or something and you want me to join up, let me know. I will join up. I will contribute. I just won't be looking in. I'm looking for people to talk. So, had a great night tonight. You guys have a great weekend. And next week, we will pick it up and we will see what's the hot thing this week. What's going to be the hot story? Who had the best draft, or who had the best combine? So that'll be what's popping next week. So we'll see what's going to happen. But appreciate everybody coming out. Had a great show tonight. Deandre Jordan can still play. Again, I don't need him to get 25 and 10. I just need him to grab a couple of rebounds and hold down the court until Joel gets his rest and he can come back. So I'm not really expecting much. I want him to be a defensive presence, pull down some rebounds, and keep it moving. So I don't know what you expect for him. He can play. So we're gonna see what happens. But thanks for coming out. If you to anybody out there that's listening, because we had some issues last week. If you were having problems getting in the chat, you have to be logged into your YouTube account to be active in the chat. You can still watch the video, watch the live stream, but to participate in the chat, I believe you have to be logged into your YouTube account. So that's one thing. Tell somebody about Pro Fan Talk, man. And hopefully I can get you guys to bring a friend and have them listen. And even if you know somebody, tell them to watch the broadcast afterwards. We still keep track of the views and stuff like that, man. So please keep that in mind. You guys have a great week. I will see you next week. Have a good one. Peace.